Yo, what is up, your boy Jay Johnny back here in Perim's Underworld. Hey, how you doing today, you beautiful Perim people? So, today, I thought it'd be nice to have a quick little discussion about reprints. But before that though, why don't you guys go down to the comment section? In the comment section, there's two links to giveaways that I'm doing. One is a TCG promo that ends on July 10th. I'll be doing the announcement of the winner on July 11th. It's worldwide, global. Anybody can get it. And then the second one is the giveaway for the survey, where two people will get both an Ulmar and a Phlogiston. So two people will win one of each. So that I felt like that was the most fair way to go about it. So that's the most fair way to go about it, and that ends on August 1st. So on August 2nd, I'll be doing the announcement for the giveaway. So go ahead and go to the comment section. All you got to do, talking on one, just tell me your favorite creature in Chaotic. Then the Ulmar and Phlogiston, all you gotta do is comment on that video and tell me what you're most excited about for Chaotic's return. So that's all you gotta do to enter those two giveaways. But before that, let's go ahead and talk about the most important thing, in my opinion, for Chaotic survival, which is gonna be reprints and why they're absolutely 100% necessary. So, to start off, let's go ahead and talk about just the scarcity. So a lot of cards are being hoarded by specific players or specific collectors, not necessarily, negatively. They're just, they're not going to sell, like, quick exit on, eBay. That's just, realistically speaking, people aren't going to go to eBay to buy quick exit kind of thing, right? So I think 100% these cards need to be reprinted. Like 100%, no questions asked, these cards need to be reprinted. There's just too much scarcity out in the wild. You have vendors like Bulba who try to keep up, but I mean, there's cards even Bulba hasn't had listed. He's been growing his collection over the last, couple of years, and it's grown quite tremendously, and he hasn't listed everything. Not to say, like, he needs to go and list everything right now, because, I mean, like, that's unrealistic for me to ask of somebody, but also, it's just a matter of, like, realistically speaking, once you hit a certain, card of a certain point, when you're running a store by yourself, realistically speaking, you can't list cards every time you're getting them, because I mean, he's still buying them in hope of, like, finding 5 maxes. So I mean, realistically speaking, a player cannot list their entire collection on eBay without just doing bulk lots. They can't list every single for a reasonable price. A, shipping cost, and B, just overall, just the ability to do that is just very low when it's just you, kind of thing, right? So there's one thing right there, right? Another thing, it's not the high dollar cards that people are going to be seeking whenever, the game revives, right? Like, Primal Smash, Zamul, Lord Von Blute, yeah, those are cards that people are going to be seeking, right? But it's also mostly going to be those attacks, and then the lower rarity cards. You have Arabec, you have Umquad, you have the OG lore has viability. I mean, it's those cards that cost like $5-10 that are also going to be like very minimal in scarcity, right? So, and those are also going to need to see massive amounts of reprints. I mean, just those are meta relevant cards. Umar Perithian is like a $10 card, depending on, like, where you go to get it, $5 to $10, and then shipping, right? And that's an uncommon. So, really, the scarcity is there. It's extremely high scarcity. The demand is going to be so much higher. We're gonna have like a massive influx of players who hadn't played the game in ages, and they're like, they see the show is back, they see the card game's back, and they go like, oh, I remember that. Let me get into it. And then the OG players, they're going to have had kids. I mean, and those kids are going to be playing the game. And, I mean, it's just, the scarcity is too much for what the demand is going to be. We have to see reprints. We, obviously, of course, Primal Smash, and, like, Lord Von Blue, Zamul, etc., blah, 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 Ursus, right? Like, the high dollar cards obviously need to see reprints. Just A, to bring down the price, and B, just because those are even more scarce than normal. Yeah, so obviously, I think just off of scarcity, reprints need to happen. But a lot of people are going to go like, oh, my collection's going to tank in value, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think if you look at, like, let's take a look at MTG, right? Like, every time they reprint Shocklands, the Shocklands tank like $2, and then they, like, go back up, sometimes even higher than what they originally were. I think that long term, your collection's going to be perfectly fine. Every card game runs into the same issue, quote unquote, of your collection tanks in value when a reprint happens. There's sometimes where, like, you know, the card is only, like, you know, it's only really valuable because it's good, and you know, like, it gets power crept and then it stops being valuable. I mean, and then that's gonna come up too. But I think whenever it comes to collector's items like OG chaotic cards, I don't think you're really gonna be having to worry about long term, like, you know, long term damage to your collection. I also don't think your collection becomes any less valuable if the reprints happen, if more accessibility happens, right? Like, dollar wise, if you're investing into chaotic cards and you bought, like, a, you know, a crap ton of Zamuls and a crap ton of Ursus, right? And you're sitting on those and you're like, hey, when the game comes back, and I'm gonna make so much money. Honestly, kind of like Loki, you're a huge reason why the scarcity exists. Yeah, you kind of deserve to lose money, right? Like, that's realistically speaking. I'm not to say, like, you know, card shops or, you know, like, people who want to become chaotic card shops, you know, are bad for, you know, wanting to make money. But also, I mean, like, if you're going into it with the predatory mindset of, like, I'm going to make so much money when the game revives, unless so I'm going to have a large collection for people to come to as, you know, the vendor for chaotic, then, I mean, like, honestly, like, Loki, like, you're kind of as bad. Like, you're kind of the problem, right? Like, that's, I mean, that might be messed up for me to say, but also, like, you know, your collection shouldn't have value to you in a monetary standpoint. It should have value to you in a sentimental standpoint, in a full-on collector standpoint. I mean, like, you know, sure, it's cool to have the nice, expensive, like, you know, Dro skins, right? That's really cool and all, but, like, honestly, like, let's be honest, like, you know, it's more of just having a piece of chaotic history that would make a collector, in my opinion. I personally, whenever a collector tells me my collection's worth, like, $10,000, I'm like, okay, cool, so you don't actually care about what's in the collection. It's just the monetary value. I lose a lot of respect for collectors whenever they, like, brag about how much their collection is. Now, if they say, like, I spent this much money on the collection, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, because that means, like, you know, like, you love the game and you love it, like, you know, you want to say, like, you know, like, this is how dedicated I am to the game. But whenever it's like, my collection is worth this much, it's like, okay, well, I didn't care before, I didn't care now, and now I, like, don't respect you as much, you know, kind of thing. But that's just me. I personally am not a collector, so I may just, like, you know, not have the mindset of a collector. I mean, like, that may be normal for a collector, but for me as a non-collector, that's just kind of like a major, that's kind of a major ick, I guess, for lack of a better word, for me. So, that being said, what do you guys think about reprints? Do you think they're 100% necessary? Because I think they're 100% necessary. I think the scarcity is too much there. We have cards like, we had people like the Card Reaper who, you know, like, actively has tried to make a career out of destroying cards. We have people like, we have people in the marketplace Discord who've thrown away a lot of bulk. You know, we have people who are collecting, like, stacks and stacks of promos. I mean, it's just, you know, people, you know, I'm not saying, like, any of that's a bad thing. Or like the collecting promos, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I am saying, like, the destroying cards. I mean, that kind of hurts to watch, not gonna lie. Just a little bit. Like, when you're growing a collection, you see that, you're like, ow, man, come on, guys, why? But I mean, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think it's 100% necessary for reprints? Because I think, honestly, we're at that point where we kind of need to see reprints. I mean, it's not just the high value cards that are, like, important to see reprints. It really is also those low value cards. Like I said, like Ulmar, like those $5 to $10 cards, those, like, you know, 50-cent cards, like, you know, quick exit and stuff like that. Those are very important cards in deck building and in the meta game. And I think it's really important that those cards, you know, see availability. What do you guys think? I keep saying that, but I mean, like, tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down more. Again, giveaway videos also in the comment section down. All you got to do is go to those videos, comment in their comment sections, tell me what you're most excited about for chaotic in one, and then the other, you got to tell me what your favorite creature from Perim is. That's all you got to do. So, that being said, I have been J. Johnny. This has been Perim's Underworld, and I'll be seeing you guys later in chaotic. Let's port to Perim.